there's no chance that this could ever happen until it did. Belichick's a soap opera saint. Bill Belichick is being held hostage. If you'd have told me Bill Belichick were going to become a soap opera over a 24-year-old woman, I would have taken any bet you want. There's no better beef than Belichick Hudson. Look, here's the deal. If you'd have told me a long time ago, anytime, I mean going back to the 90s when Belichick and Parcells used to come hang with Coach Knight and I down in Bloomington, if you'd have told me Bill Parcells or Bill Belichick were going to become a soap opera over a 24-year-old woman, I would have taken any bet you want. Any bet you want, because there's no chance that this could ever happen until it did. I got a hard time. I got a hard time with this. Now, you insert a 24-year-old porcelain smoke show, add her as a girlfriend to the curmudgeonly 72-year-old, and we have literally our own version of the Young and the Restless. We got a young and we got an old man that's a little bit of restless. Yeah, he is, but this is Belichick. Next game, next story. You know, guy who can never play but could coach his nuts off, guy who is gruff with the media, guy who seemingly Belichick was intolerant of any type distraction that led you over there and you weren't totally focused over here. He was the guy. He was the epitome of get in here and do your job. Just do your job. I don't want to hear about family. I don't want to hear about nothing. Just do your job. Well, now, of course, we've got the aforementioned Young and the Restless. And we got more beef, which adds to the soap opera. Belichick seemingly is just going along, living his best life, trying to recapture a little bit of joy when he was a joyless champion. I talked about this the other day. But now you got a 24-year-old smoke show, I guess, who's in there battling the media. She's in there. She got her hands up. She's scrapping. She's fighting. In a fight, I'd take her over little douchebag Pablo Torre. But anyway, now we got beef. We got beef between Jordon Hudson and that little loser, Pablo Torre. And maybe, just maybe, there's a lawsuit, or maybe, just maybe, we're just going to threaten lawsuits, Jordon Hudson, the 24-year-old little gal. All right. Here it is. Alejandro Avila, outkick. Pablo Torre thinks he's breaking Watergate, but mostly just clogs the timeline with his fixation on Jordon Hudson. And Blue Sky's favorite journalist may be about to learn what happens when you cross the First Lady in baby blue. Hudson, the younger girlfriend of North Carolina coach Bill Belichick, the grumpy one, posted on social media Sunday that she is suing the haughty online journalist. There you go. Here it is. P.S. I'm suing you, Pablo Torre. Hey, I don't know. Good luck. You got to show damages. You got to show malicious intent. You got to show a lot of stuff to sue a public figure. Look, I don't know, but I do know this. Bill Belichick is being held hostage. Bill Belichick is like, wait a second. Did anybody ever know or see Bill Belichick's wife or Bill Belichick's girlfriends? Once in a while, he would show up somewhere, and he had a girlfriend, age appropriate, if that's what we're using. But you really never heard about her. I can't tell you Bill Belichick's wife's name. I mean, you know, what do we got? Miss Sherry, Miss Terry, whatever the hell we got over there with Nick Saban and all his nonsense. But can you really tell me Bill Belichick's wife's name? And then he had a longtime girlfriend, age appropriate, and you couldn't tell her name. But now Jordon Hudson is almost like, here's how you equate it. I always said I didn't want to get in a plane crash with Mike Tirico when I was his partner, because they would say Tirico dies in plane crash, others involved as well. Well, I don't know. Is it Jordon Hudson dies in a plane crash along with Super Bowl champ coach Bill Belichick? I don't think so. I think Belichick gets the headline. But damn, it's starting to morph this way. And Belichick's got to be going, what in the hell? Hi, Jordan Bella, her Twitter handle. I assume this means you're declining my invitation to be a guest on Pablo Finds Out. Pablo standing strong. Either way, I look forward to hearing from you. All right. Well, here's what some of the beef is about. In Torre's newest episode about Hudson, he obtained language from a show Belichick co-hosted with Matt Patricia for Underdog Sports. It shows Hudson, listen to this, exercising unexpected editorial control despite not being a producer. The clip captures Hudson critiquing various elements of the program, from a virtual design of graphics to how Belichick and Patricia should present different football concepts. So what? Ain't no thing. I told you. Mickey Krzyzewski is hovered over Duke's program. Nancy Knight, Coach Knight's first wife, used to MF me and others. And then his second wife became our damn strength coach. Wives have always hovered. What is it? The John and Nell or the Nell and John Wooden Court? Stop it. Just stop it. Pablo Torre finds out, has been named one of the best shows and best episodes of 2025 by Apple. Couldn't do it without all you sickos. There you go. And Hudson responds, "You're welcome." Well, there you go. It's not clear what exactly Hudson would be suing Torre for, but it would likely be for defamation. Samare, I'm Ron Burgundy. Some are speculating it revolves around Torre's report that Hudson was banned from the UNC football facility early this year, but I can't see how that's a big deal. I honestly can't. You got to prove damages. What were you damaged? You got to prove malicious intent. It's Twitter. Who cares? With all this going on, it gets spicy now, though. You ready? Here we go. Belichick's daughter-in-law, I assumed he had a daughter-in-law because we see his ratty-haired son on the sideline, is reportedly livid with Hudson and gave Bill an ultimatum to choose Hudson or his family, according to the Washington Post. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It's unbelievable. All right, here we go. Belichick's daughter-in-law. Listen to this. I got to put this up close. Unleashed an hour-long profanity-laced tirade. Was she Nancy Knight? On Jordon Hudson following a University of North Carolina football game this month. The Post can exclusively report Jen Belichick's outburst, which occurred on November 8, including digs at Hudson's fashion choices, her body, her relationship with Bill. As the UNC coach he Joe Biden'd it, just stood a few feet away saying, I'm right here. What? The incident went down inside the 73-year-old's office at Keenan Memorial Stadium in Chapel Hill just after the Tar Heels beat Stanford, according to sources. Jen screamed, "All Jordan does is control, shh," before she called Bill's significant other bat blank crazy. Woman, you bat blank crazy. At one point, sources said Jen told the room, which included Jen's husband, defensive coordinator Steve Belichick, Bill Hudson, multiple others, that she didn't care if her eruption resulted in Steve's determination or Bill disowning him. Wow, Jen yelled that Jordan was effing twisting Bill's brain before she urged the six-time Super Bowl champ to wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee, Bill. I'm on to the next thing. Sources say she went on to issue an ultimatum to the coach. You choose your family or you choose Hudson. During Jen's rant, sources said she also chided Hudson for her propensity to wear snakeskin prints at games and once muttered, "You also need to eat a damn burger." I put the damn in there because it sounds better. Go eat a damn burger, woman. I got in trouble way back. Not Sage Steele. Sam Ponder got all mad. That's access. Shut up. At times, she directed her anger towards Bill and Steve, saying to her husband, "He wants to fire you, fire it. He wants to effing disown you, disown me. I don't effing care." Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know what? Sometimes women got to stand up for their men. And Steve Belichick, if you watch Landman, he's that mean dude that just got burnt up. Spoiler alert, if you didn't see it. He's his son, the droopy, bearded, muscular dude. That's who Steve Belichick is. Hanging on and sucking off the teat of daddy. But good for mama. Steve's mama, a.k.a. his wife, stood up and said to Bill and Jordan, "This is the way it is. There's a new sheriff in town. Guess what? I don't know. Seems like Jordon Hudson's staying around. Seems like she hasn't eaten a hamburger. Still wears skimpy clothes, and Belichick keeps losing." As the world turns, Young and the Restless, All My Children, they all fit. They all fit. All my children, daughter-in-law, child. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, you know I love beef. You know I love Belichick beef. There's no better beef than Belichick, Hudson, Steve, and his wife's beef. Hey, this episode is brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks. I'm killing it. You and I make decisions every day. Prize Picks, being right gets you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks. It's good to be right at Prize Picks. Prize Picks, simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you cash in, win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half, doesn't return, Prize Picks will not count it as a loss. Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching games. Join millions of users. Sign up today like I did. All I do is win. I don't think we have that chart. If we do, we can play. I'm just kicking everybody's ass. I'm not trying to beat everybody else at Outkick. I'm just trying to make money. That's right. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code DAKICH. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DAKICH. Get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right. My college basketball dreams are coming true. We're in the era of the players era. Remember, college basketball is one of only a few billion-dollar entities that is supposed to give a rat's ass about 18 to 23-year-olds. Does anybody give really a rat's ass in any high-profile building that you see about 18 to 23-year-olds? Maybe the ad agency does. Nickelodeon must. Disney has to. But serious, the rap industry, man, I got this 18-year-old rapper. He barely opens his mouth, but he's pretty cool. Shut up. Anyway, the Big 12 Conference, listen to this, has announced a partnership with the Players Era Tournaments to the tune of $50 million with NIL payments directly going to players of participating teams. All right. Kids don't give a rat's ass. Coach, we got to play in the Players Era. I wonder, they should, why not, give first place prize $1 million to the team. Second place prize $750. Third, you know what I'm saying? Why not? This helps donor fatigue. Here's $50 million, and you know what? We don't have to go to Jimmy Joe Butt Jam or Susie Rottencrotch to get money. We're right here. We're ready to go. Man, oh man, here we go. It says the partnership, this according to Myron Metcalf, who always dressed like a lounge singer. He disparaged, Myron did, Tuesday Night Hoops. Used to have great people on it. Now his dumb ass looks like he's ready to do 3 acts at the Cope on a Saturday night. The partnership will create a new financial relationship between the Big 12 and the Players Era, which gives every participant a guaranteed $1 million payout. That's the team. It ensures that the event will have 8 teams each year from one of the country's top conferences as it prepares to expand to 32 squads in 2026. In this year's event, number 2, Houston almost lost last night. Number 24, Kansas. Number 16, Iowa State. And Baylor are key teams in the Players Era field, which features 9 top 25 programs. The league's reps, beginning next season through the 29-30 event, will be determined by the previous year's conference standing. Had the agreement been in place for this year, Houston, Texas Tech, Arizona, BYU, Iowa State, Kansas, Baylor, West Virginia would have been included. There you go. All right. They're giving us $1 million, Kelvin Sampson says. That's why we're there, and I would say that's why all the teams are there. We didn't sign up for this to have a tournament where we would play each other. We signed up for this because they're giving us $1 million. If they decided to put a court down in some vacant lot and they'd give us $1 million, I'd go play there too. It saves us from having to go ask somebody else for money. There is a thing called donor fatigue. Man, I got to tell you. When Calvin Sampson's the voice of reason, college basketball is in bad shape. You have no idea what a dirtbag that guy is. According to sources, Players Era will become an NCAA tournament-like event in November featuring the best teams in college basketball. The ambition could include a new format. Games take place outside Vegas in the future. Its changes have already impacted other fixed week events because of its rapid growth and payouts, like Maui's got a crap field. Expansion in the years ahead will limit the number of available elite teams for other events within the sport as the Players Era event moves forward. Very simple. I mean, it is. I don't want to have to go Ask Joey Bag of Donuts and Susie Rotten Crotch for money every year. So I go play in a tournament. I set up a tournament. See, this is a 180-degree swing because it used to be coaches would play in something like this, Dana Kirk, look him up, Memphis, and take the money for themselves. Give a little bit to the school, but had it in their contract. You want my Georgetown Hoyas to come play? John Thompson will say, you got to pay Big John $50,000. Dana Kirk went to jail for it with Memphis. Keith Lee. Nah, man, coach has been doing that for a long time. And now the players get it. I think it's crap. And every coach knows it's crap. These players are there 1 year, one stinking year, and then they go somewhere else. Maybe you get a guy for 3. But we got to cater to him. I love it. I think it's the funniest ish ever. I love that my son's coaching in this era. He's embraced it, but damn, I could not. I'd just make fun of players. I'd say, I'm paying you $1 million and you can't make a damn layup. All right. Suck it. Chief Special Teams Coach Dave Taub, President Trump, was active on his true social media account Monday morning, weighing in on the NFL's action and gave his thoughts on Shedeur Sanders, along with the Giants. Well, the Giants sucked late game, and of course, an overtime game they had with the Lions. Let me get to it. The team, this is Trump. The team decided to play aggressively in the game while up 3 points against the Detroit Lions rather than kick a field goal to extend the lead. Instead, Giants quarterback Jameis Winston misfired and overthrew tight end Theo Johnson. Man, that was really stupid. The Lions marched down the field after the turnover on downs, kicked a game-tying field goal. They eventually won 34-27 in overtime thanks to a Jamar Chase touchdown. That's the backstory. That's not Trump. Here's Trump. Why did the New York football Giants not kick the field goal? Who would have done such a thing? It was crazy. I got to watch the end of the game and thought when they went for the touchdown instead of 3, that's weird. You take the lead. Is what it is, bro. Trump wasn't alone in his frustration. He was joined by Diva wide receiver. Diva wide receiver alert. Diva wide receiver alert. Malik Neighbors. He offered his own take before Xing it or deleting it on X. Here's Neighbors. Sometimes I think they be making us lose on purpose. Because it's no way, bro, you throw the ball instead of running it to make them burn 2 timeouts. Then you don't kick the field goal. Then you have to go down and score. Football common sense. Am I missing something? Yeah, proper English. But that's all right. You went to LSU. We would expect nothing less. No, I got to tell you, you're not missing nothing. I don't think the coach, Kafka, is trying to lose on purpose, but he certainly didn't help himself by losing, seemingly on purpose. After venting his frustration with the Giants, Trump shifted his sights to the debut of Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders was great, wins first game, career start as a pro for Cleveland, great genes. I told you so. See that? I told you so. Well, hang on there. A lot of season left for old Shedeur, including this week. In case you forgot, Trump took to True Social during the NFL draft to voice his displeasure with the teams passing on Shedeur Sanders. What is wrong with NFL owners? This is a draft from Trump. Are they stupid? Deion Sanders was a great college football player, even greater in the NFL. He's also a very good coach, streetwise and smart. Therefore, Shedeur's quarterback son has phenomenal genes and is all set for greatness. He should be picked immediately by a team that wants to win. Good luck, Shedeur, and say hello to your wonderful father. Well, of course, the Browns did go ahead and announce Shedeur Sanders as their starting quarterback. That had to happen. They gave the team juice. They gave the city. He gave the city life. What's wrong with you? Isn't it great to have a president that loves ball and isn't turning around after a press conference to walk in the wilderness or to shiny or falls down or doesn't know where he's at or can't speak coherently? No, it's great. It's great. It's also another excuse, ladies and gentlemen, to bring out the effeminate male. America's effeminate male, Tim Waltz. You know the question we have about him. Tim Waltz saying AOC could run a mean pick 6 while streaming himself playing Madden with AOC in an attempt to appeal to young folk. Here it is. Remember this? this little ditty, AOC can run a mean pick six, and I can call an audible on a play. We both know that if you take the time to drop a playbook, you're going to use it. Yeah. I mean, who among us hasn't ran a mean pick six? I love it. Hey, Rhett Lewis is going to join us. We're going to talk NFL Network host at Rhett NFL. He played at Indiana against Purdue. We'll get some thoughts on Ohio State, Purdue, Pete Carroll's only season. Man, oh man, only season as a Raiders head coach, and got to get his thoughts on Shedeur Sanders. Coming up right now, Rhett Lewis. Hey, while you're here, make sure you head on over to youtube.com/@don't@me with Dan Dakich to like, comment, and subscribe. We're there all day. We have fun with it, and feel free to argue with each other. Argue with us. We get a kick out of it. We ain't afraid of a little confrontation, yo. Simple. youtube.com/@don't@me with Dan Dakich. Subscribe, ring the bell, do all that good stuff. We're here for you. You love him, Rhett Lewis, NFL Network. Indiana guy, that's all, which means he's a damn football genius. 28.5 is the spread. IU, Purdue, at Purdue. Is that enough? Which side of that would you be on? Were you a betting man?
Yeah, I mean, look, I will say this. In my work for Big Ten Network, I have done 3 Purdue games this year and gotten to know that staff a little bit. They're in a much better place, Dan. And like, here's the thing that we can, as Indiana guys, you can love Indiana as much as humanly possible. But in a rivalry game, you want a team to be at their best, right? They're not quite there yet. I think let's be honest about that. They lost 9 in a row, but I think that program is going to be better with Barry Odom. That said, it ain't enough, Dan. It just ain't enough. It's this Hoosier football team has bigger goals in mind. They're going to take care of business on this one. And I know that, again, the messaging king, Dan, Kurt Signetti, laid out all the good things that Purdue has done this year. And they have been competitive at home. They were competitive with Michigan. He's got that team eating out of the palm of his hand. He is the best at packaging his message to his team, and they are in lockstep with him. So they'll be hyper-focused for this game and ready to go win that bucket.
All right, I want to go through some things. Let's move it ahead. Let's say Indiana wins. Let's say Ohio State wins. You've covered these two. Let me go Ohio State, Michigan first. Hold on a second. Can you break that one down for me? What kind of shot does Michigan have at home?
Well, look, they have a shot because they play good defense, and Wink Martindale is a really really smart, sharp dude, and they're going to be ready for it. And they know that they have been in the last year or two. They have not been the more talented team on the field, and still won. And that's the case again with this game. However, Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator there at Ohio State, has done absolute wonders with this defense. They're better than they were a year ago, and he's about to take on an 18-year-old freshman quarterback. And to me, that's where the mismatch lies. I know that's not necessarily an original thought, but Matt Patricia is so good and so complex in what he presents to a quarterback, especially one that just hasn't seen this before. I just got a hard time believing Michigan's going to find enough offense to win this game.
Big Ten championship, let's say it's right now. I mean, somebody may get hurt, but you've seen these teams. What would you make the line? How would you break down Ohio State, Indiana, if it happens here in Indy in a week?
Yeah, it's again, it's an interesting one. It's similar to me in the way that the Oregon-Indiana game was presented. Like, there's a lot of talk about all the stars on one side of the field, right, and on one sideline, and rightly so. They're really talented players. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, although they've been out, recently, imagine they'll be back. You talk about Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs. I mean, like, the list goes on with what they can bring and throw at you. But and Ohio State is probably favored in that game. They probably will be, and it may be by close to a touchdown. Who knows? But the thing that Vegas doesn't know, the thing that so many people who don't understand and have not watched Indiana know, is that there's not a team in this country that plays as a team better than Indiana. That understands the messaging, the game plans. They play for each other. They are they are connected in a way that I have never seen with this program, and with few others. So I just think it's hard to put a value on that, and it's easy for people to discount it, but do so at your own peril, because they play together as well as anybody. All three phases now, like all three, and they are a very, very difficult team to deal with.
Feels like it is how I'm going to preface this next question. Feels like it. Doesn't happen all the time. Is this Pete Carroll's only year as a head coach of Vegas?
Sure hope not, Dan. I sure hope not, because I do. Again, I got a lot of respect for what Pete's done in his career. It's hard not to. He's won pretty much everywhere, and I think they've got to find a way to keep building that team. I think there were some clear deficiencies, and then they got hurt. Colton Miller, best offensive lineman, goes down. They've been shuffling guys along the O-line, and we haven't seen the full Ashton Jeanty yet. Brock Bowers is hurt for 2 months. He's their best offensive player. It's hard with this league to make up for those types of injuries, and they need another year for John Spytek to go in there, the GM, and build through the draft the way that they did when he was in Tampa. And Tampa built a bully with their offensive and defensive lines over the course of a period of years. Now, look, I know, I think people look at Pete Carroll, you're like, well, if he's not winning now, look, he's the oldest coach in the league. Like, what are we going to do? He's got to go. I think you got to give him another year minimum, Dan, and I think that they'll figure out a way to bring better personnel in there and build this thing up the right way.
Shedeur Sanders, does he end up as a starter here for the rest of the season?
I mean, the way that the Browns quarterback history has gone, I would venture, I guess, to say no. It's been tough to find consistency there. Now, look, again, he won. He went out and played well. He had maybe the one mistake with the interception, but had a couple of deep throws. He was accurate. All the best of Shedeur showed up in this game. Now, can you see that consistently? I mean, for the Browns' sake, I hope so. But it's not going to get a whole lot. It's going to get a whole lot more difficult. Let's put it that way as they continue to roll through here. I mean, let's just see the Browns. They got the 49ers this week. That's going to feel a little bit different than the Raiders. They got the Bears coming up, the Bills coming up. I don't know. Just the way it's gone this year. Is their fourth starting quarterback? I don't know. I don't think we're done yet there with the Browns.
What do you make of J.J. McCarthy?
Young player playing in his rookie season. I know last year was his rookie year, but we didn't see him at all. And I think we've seen some good. I mean, he brought that team back and they won week 1. And he's got flashes, but right now it just doesn't feel like he has the confidence and consistency to go out there and to operate in the way that Kevin O'Connell needs him to. I wonder if you at some point decide, hey, do we need to pull this thing back, kind of the way the Panthers did a year ago with Bryce Young, and later on in the season comes back and is a different player? The problem with that is you've got an undrafted free agent in Max Brosmer as the number 2 quarterback. By the way, it's a pretty smart dude. If he ends up getting a nod here because McCarthy's in concussion protocol, Max Brosmer, I've been around him a bunch, did a couple of Minnesota games last year. Like that dude can play now. So I'll be curious to see how they approach this, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a chance to take a little kind of like a mental breath here and try to regroup.
I'm going on Sunday. Texans come in here. Is it a hot hand? Is Davis Mills having a hot hand? Is that what a hot hand looks like? And would you stick with David Mills? That defense is a mother. Would you stick with David Mills if C.J. Stroud is ready?
Would not. I would not stick with Davis Mills. I would go back to C.J. Stroud. He is the better player, but credit where credit's due, right? Again, not many QB2s come off the bench and win 3 in a row. Now, look, not many QB2s come off the bench and get a defense like that. but it's you take what you can get. So look, I think Davis Mills has done his job. Now they've gotten a little bit healthier over the course of the last couple of weeks too, and they're playing a little bit better up front on the offensive line. But I do think C.J. Stroud is still the future of this franchise, and they got to find a way to rekindle what he showed us his rookie year. It's been tough to kind of find that, but I think as they get healthier and they've got a chance here. This is obviously a difficult one for him here to come back against the Indianapolis Colts, who are rocking and rolling right now atop the AFC South. But you got a team again in the Colts coming off a loss to the Chiefs. I think they'll be ready for this opportunity to kind of put the Texans back down. But yeah, I absolutely go back with C.J. Stroud.
Last thing before I let you go, I think the Colts awakened a sleeping giant. I looked at Mahomes like the other day, like I ain't losing. Screw that. I didn't like it. I wanted them eliminated. Get them out of here. Get them gone.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to you just can't hold that dude down. You just can't hold that dude down for too long, and so they come out and score the last 13
Colts
points of that game.
Colts couldn't get a first down in the second half.
Yeah, for the second half was tough. The run game, I mean, here's the other thing. Like, credit to Steve Spagnuolo and the defense for shutting down Jonathan Taylor and keeping him to 58 yards on 16 carries. Like, that's winning football if you're playing the Colts. So they got to get back to running the ball and running it well.
Appreciate you, Rhett. Thanks, man. Appreciate you coming on. Great stuff.
Anytime, Dan.
Covered a lot of ground right there. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm with him. I don't like coaches getting fired, in the first year of a deal. I don't like it, but boy, it just feels like things aren't going well for Pete Carroll, and they're not. Yeah, someone's under fire for being a moron or making a controversial question. Davey and I talk about if they'll be able to keep their job, if what's happening is good or bad, and basically anything we discuss. It's the hot seat with me and Davey. Davey, what do we got? I don't lie. I look like a monk. Come on, people.
Dan, you can file a complaint with HR if you want that stinger changed.
I love it. It's who I really am. Let's go. Dan, I like some glasses on that, but okay. Go ahead.
I'm interested in your take on this first one because on the hot seat, college football conference championship games. And when I say they are on the hot seat, they're on the hot seat because now the argument has come in the college football playoff era where a lot of teams are saying, you know what, it would actually be easier to not play a conference championship game, reduces the risk of injury, you get another week to prepare for your playoff game. What say you?
I understand both sides of this, Davey. Davey, I really do. But as a fan, I want downtown Indy popping with Ohio State taking on Indiana. When it goes to Vegas or when it goes somewhere else, probably won't care as much. I never really cared about the Big Ten championship game. Now I do. Indiana's in it. Davey, I understand, man. I mean, how bad would it be? And we've seen this. Guy goes in and gets hurt in a conference championship game. I mean, nobody needs that. And to your point, one of the things that is really nice for Indiana is they just had their bye last week. So they play, bunch of games, win, bye, get ready for two tough weeks. I know they only play Purdue, but it's still a rivalry game. And then you got a conference championship game, hopefully against the number one team in the country. Davey, it's good economics for Indy and a town that's hosting it. It's terrific for players to say they went and won the Big Ten title game. But in terms of getting you ready for the college football playoff, I think it's risky. And I'm getting to the point where I don't blame a coach for sitting a player or two. What say you? And I hate that I'm thinking that way. I absolutely hate it because that's not who I am. But what say you?
No, I hear you there, Dan. I would say this obviously only applies to the SEC and the Big Ten. And, I mean, you look at last year, the team that won the national championship didn't even participate in the Big Ten championship in Ohio State.
Right.
I would also just say you look at this from the standpoint of, like, what gives me the best % chance to win a national championship? And I would say if I don't have to play that extra game, you look at the schedule that unfolded. Now, what is a little bit different this year compared to last year is the automatic bids in the college football playoff are different. You don't have the conference champions getting a bye necessarily. It's just going to be the top 4 teams, which I think could change it a little bit. But, I mean, I would imagine Ohio State, Indiana is going to be the Big Ten championship. Right now, Texas A&M, Georgia is what I would anticipate for the SEC. But, yeah, if I'm a coach, I don't want to play that game if it's going to hurt my chances of winning a national championship.
Yeah, I mean, last year, let's take it even farther. Notre Dame didn't play in the conference championship game. They made the final against a team that didn't play in the conference championship game, Ohio State. The other side to me, and I've always said this, college football, you play for regular season championship, you play for the championship game, you play to make the tournament, and you play to win the tournament. That's, college basketball, you play to win whatever preseason tournament you're in, conference title, conference champion, NCAA. You play for the rings, and this gets you a ring, this gets you immortalized, but man, oh, man. All right, Zach Taylor. What do we got on Zach Taylor, Coach?
Real quick on that one, Dan. Notre Dame, they actually knew this ahead of time. They said, we just want the home game. We don't care about the automatic bye because they also knew that's more money for them if they can just get the home game in the playoff and not even have to worry. But Zach Taylor, the Bengals, Dan, they are – I want to get my facts straight here. They're 3-8. They've lost 4 in a row, and their defense has allowed 26 points or more in every game except week 1 where they played the anemic Browns. I don't know how the guy survives.
Yeah, I mean, he survives only because the excuse will be made that Joe Burrow was hurt, but that's not the defense. And he got rid of Lou Amaretto, Stone Sour, as we call him here. And here in Indy, Lou Amaretto, Stone Sour, the defensive coordinator, is considered like resurrected his career, a lot like Bruce Arians did when he came and got fired at Pittsburgh, came over to Indy. Now he's being allegedly considered for jobs. One thing about Zach Taylor, to your point, is he's never gotten this defense right. He, as I said, he blamed Amaretto or whatever the hell his name is, and now he's got new guys in there, and they still stink. The offensive line hasn't been great. Joe Burrow isn't in there, and now you got a bad defense. And frankly, I mean, let's be honest, they're playing in an okay division. This used to be a really tough division, but you know what? Right now, beware of the Ravens. They've won 4 or 5 in a row with Lamar Jackson back. The Steelers seem to stink. The Browns, I don't care that they won. They stink. So I could see them moving on from Zach Taylor. It's not a lifetime pass that you get because you went to a Super Bowl. And people in Cincinnati are starting to feel like, you know what? Hey, man, this ain't going. This ain't getting better. He's tried about everything to scapegoat. And, again, I go back to a defensive coach, Amaretto, Stone Sour, that got the boot, and they still haven't figured it out. So I could see him getting the boot. Who's next?
Next, Dan, tryptophan. Are you familiar with tryptophan?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, friend of the show, Coach Danny Hurley, he had a rant post-game I want to play for you.
So, and just have a great Thanksgiving to everyone out there. We're going to celebrate our Thanksgiving on Wednesday. As a team, we're going to eat what's in the turkey, Bobby? No. What makes people sleepy? Tryptophan. So we're not going to eat the fucking tryptophan on Thursday and be sluggish as shit on Friday. So we're going to eat the tryptophan, the turkey and everything on Wednesday, so that all the tryptophan is out of our system by the time we get to MSG. Here we go.
There you go. I am 1,000% with this. After Sunday's game, Illinois State beat the tar out of Coastal Carolina. I sat with my son for a little bit, and we talked about all of the different things that are going on now in college basketball programs. And let's be honest, UConn is at the forefront in terms of money, in terms of being able to have every piece of data that you could have. People made fun. This is going back to 2002, I believe. People made fun. They wondered why Ball State Ball State, Muncie, Indiana, go to the Maui Classic and beat number 2 UCLA and number 4 Kansas in back-to-back nights. Turned out the coach, Tim Buckley, had his players drinking X amount of water on the flight because when they played in a hot gym in Maui, the other teams were cramping. Ball State wasn't. Side note, we whipped Ball State's ass in the MAC semifinal to go to the final that same year, but I digress. So I don't begrudge any coach for doing some thinking. The training staff is paid to think outside the box. I have no idea whether tryptophan lasts a night, 2 nights, whatever. But good for Bobby Hurley. I'm a believer in anything they want to do. And I go back to this, Billy Donovan. I went to visit Billy in 2007 after his second national championship. Actually, I went to visit Urban, hung out with Billy, and he goes, yeah, man. He goes, the only thing we did was make sure we put these little things on players' shirts, these little odometers, I didn't know what the hell that was, that said exactly how many minutes, seconds they played against other people. My point being, man, oh man, this is pretty good. Man, oh man, this is next level. And Davey, I am here 1,000% for it. How about that? There you go.
I don't disagree that tryptophan can obviously play an impact. I think it's a little overblown because tryptophan, it's not, I know most people just associate it with it being in turkey, but it's in a lot of proteins, like chicken as well, even if you eat a ton of beef. I believe canned tuna, if you're looking like per ounce, the amount of tryptophan, that is like the highest concentrated as far as a food group goes. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on, but it's something where people are taking it, I think, to the extreme at this point. But, hey, any little advantage you can get, you might as well take, especially in the world of college athletics.
Oh, man, in the world of any athletics, in the world of anything, if Danny thinks that, if the coaches think that, the players, you get everybody to buy into that. Doesn't matter what the science says. That's good stuff, man, because, look, let's be honest. These guys, and they do it more. I could not believe the stuff my son was telling me that they chart now, what they eat, how they eat, all that kind of stuff. So good. I got to tell you, I'm all in on all of it. I'm all in on whatever a coach wants to do. You got to get your team to believe it. And if you can get your team to believe it, then God bless you. But apparently, Danny believes it. He'll get his team to believe it. Will it matter? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Hey, I'll give you some college basketball thoughts real quick before we head to Wokadope. I got to tell you, I like the fact that we got this players era. I like the fact that they're making money. I like the fact that we got good games. But you got to do it. I get it. You got to do it. But, boy, would I like to see these games be on home courts. Man, would that be fun. I mean, I get it. We're in Vegas. We're watching. It used to be everybody wanted to go to Vegas. Now everybody don't want to go to Vegas. So we're watching this in half-filled gyms, and, you know, frankly, it's not as much fun. It's not as good for the sport, but the $1 million, 2 teams, is good for the sport. I loved last night. I got watching this, and Maurice Odom for Danny, not Bobby. Bobby, not Danny Hurley, drops 34, hits a big 3, and Arizona State beats Texas. Last time I remember Arizona State being in Maui, we were there, and I swear to God, that was the year. It was like early 90s. They did a point-shaving thing with a guy named Headache Smith. How about this? They got like a 7th-year senior. The average age of Gonzaga's team is like 24. Like, that's the oldest team in college basketball, maybe college basketball history. They got more guys of age than anybody. Truthfully, when you got 30-year-olds that have basketball experience, that understand how to play and have played, you ought to whoop everybody's ass. This is what I'm saying. I don't get college basketball, man. College basketball is wonderful. College basketball is awesome. But damn, why does a 6th, 7th, 8th-year senior get to play? It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, the Zags beat Alabama. Alabama, I'll give Nate Oates credit, man. He is playing a tough schedule. He's playing a raucous schedule. Good for him. But this whole players era thing, every single coach that you're ever going to talk to is going to get in front of a camera and say, this is great. And every single coach that you're going to talk to privately says, this is such BS. This is such garbage. We're making all this big stuff and then letting players leave after we pay them out of our money. Crazy. That's my thoughts on college basketball. Fox Nation has great documentaries, not good, great. And the latest is a documentary on champion golfer, founder of Augusta National, and war hero, the late, great Bobby Jones. Take a look.
And after arriving in Europe, Jones was sent to the beaches of Normandy in the days following D-Day.
And then after he's discharged, the following year in 1945, he's authorized to wear the Bronze Star to indicate battle participation in the air offensive of Europe.
Back then, in those days, there was a swell of patriotism, not only among civilians, citizens, but also among athletes. It was not uncommon for athletes to want to join the fight. And Bobby Jones stood right up at 40 years old and joined that fight. Woke-a-dope. One of my favorite segments is Woke-a-dope. I love Woke and I love Dopa. Woke-a-dopa. Right-wing extremism. Family dinner. Thanksgiving dinner. Dad at the head of the table. Happy children. I don't know if that's mom. I don't know if that's grandma. I don't know if that's nanny. I don't know if that's a hired cook. But everybody seems to be happy. That is now the right-wing extreme network that all of us are on. Anytime you are a family man, which I am proudly, anytime you are a husband, which I am proudly, anytime you do things for your kids or sit down at church or sit down at a family meal, that's right-wing extremism. We must get blue hair, kiss our homosexual lover, and burn the flag with my panties. Damn it. That's real America. Oh, bullshit. Sit down. God bless, what is it? Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet, and a great freaking nap after tryptophan or whatever the hell it is infests you by having a great dinner with La Familia. And I hope you all get a chance to. Next. Oh, there they are. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean, I'm so excited for these guys. Look at these guys. Stop the oligarchy. Stop the oligarchy. Stop the oligarchy. As these guys have made millions, ride on private planes, and eat lobster. But you and I are the oligarchy. Yeah, we are. Let's go. The oligarchy doesn't exist except for folks that these people deflected to. It's the biggest bunch of nonsense going on in our country right now. You know, liberals, like these three idiots, deflect what they are doing to others. And the gaslighting absolutely must stop. It's insanity. And I thought yesterday on our show, Jay Feely was fantastic. I'm trying to find the Gronk response because so many went and said, well, Feely's not right, when he was talking about how many people, how many folks Obama got rid of and how many drone flights Obama had. 540 drone strikes that killed 4,000 people. How about that? Honest to God. And people are sitting there bitching, whining, and moaning about it. No, honest to God. It's insane to me. So some people went to Gronk and said, is this relevant? And the answer is, yeah. Not only is it accurate, it's 1,000% accurate. But all they do is gaslight us. You're an oligarch. You're not paying taxes. You're about billionaires. Really? All right. Whatever you say while you fly across country in a private jet and eat lobster. Next! Socialist is a person who wants everything you have except your job. Boy, is that true. I want your stuff, but I don't want to earn it. Squatters, when you go away for a little bit, get into your house. They want your house. We don't want to have to earn it. That used to be what your kids did. Now it's everybody. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't even like it a little bit. Not even sorta, kinda, maybe. All right. Well, last thing. I've probably said this before, but I'm going to say it again. One of the great things about not coaching is this weekend. I'll never forget my first weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, not coaching in the media. I didn't have to work. And I'm over at my brother's house, my sister-in-law, my mom, my dad, everybody's there. We're cooking, we're eating, offshore betting probably. And I looked around and I said, this is the greatest thing ever. And then like on Friday night, we all went to the Pacer game. Usually when you're coaching, here's what you're doing. You're doing what Danny Hurley did. I can't have tryptophan. Or you got to have a bunch of guys over to your house, and maybe you got mommies and daddies, and then you got somebody bitching, whining, and moaning because Joey Bag of Donuts can't go home for Thanksgiving. It's a pain in the prick. And then you're usually playing either the Wednesday before, the Friday, Saturday after, certainly the Saturday after, so nobody gets to go home, and everybody's bitching, whining, and moaning. Now, it gets a little easier when you're in Maui or you're in Vegas or you're in the Bahamas. I get it. That's different, but that's not the mid-major life. And that wasn't the life we led at Indiana before all these tournaments, when we had to march over to Bob Knight's house and listen to him bitch at us for not who knows what. No. Out of coaching, this is the weekend. All day yesterday, betting, talking, watching. All day today, betting, talking, watching. Last night you had NFL football. Moving forward, we're going to have NFL football. We're going to have college football. We're going to have great rivalries. This is America's premier week. And for those of you out of coaching, college basketball coaches, this is the week where what I mean when I send you a text that says congratulations when you've either been fired or retired. They ain't nothing better than feast week, baby.